Hi dear students, today we are discussing about constituents of depository system. So there are two constituents of deposit system. One is depository and second one is depository participants or DP. So which are the constituents or elements of depository system are: one is depository, second one is depository participants or DP. First we can discuss about the first constituent of depository system, that is depository. So depository is the apex organization or unit in the depository system. So in our capital market, in our Indian capital market, in depository system, the most top organization or unit is depository. That means depository is just like a bank. You know that in bank where investors can deposit their money as well as they can withdraw their money. Same as like in a depository, an investor can deposit and withdraw his shares. Okay, in a depository, an investor can deposit and withdraw his shares. So who can be a depository? Normally depository is an institution which hold securities such as shares and debentures. Okay, so different companies security, that is shares and debentures, who is holding this depository is holding. So depository is an institution which hold securities such as shares and debentures. These securities they are holding in the form of electronic form. They are held the securities in electronic form. So securities are held in electronic form by the depository. So already said depository is like a bank only. These depositories are receiving this, or companies can deposit their shares and other securities in this depository. Any investors can deposit and withdraw his shares in depository. So who is a depository? Depository is an institution which holds securities such as shares and debentures. The securities are held in which form? Electronic form by a depository. So in our country there are two depositories are there. One is National Securities Depository Limited or NSDL, and Central Depository Service Limited or CDSL. Okay, so two depositories are there in our country. One is National Securities Depository Limited or NSDL and Central Depository Service Limited or CDSL. And the second constituents of this depository system is depository participant or DP. Depository participant means the agent of the depository. We already said investors can deposit money in their depository, but investors cannot deposit it directly. Investors need the help of an agent or mediator or intermediary. That mediator is depository participant. So depository participant is an agent or depository. An investor has to interact only with the DP and not with the depository for all his dealings in shares in electronic form. We already said investors can deposit and withdraw his shares from in depository, right? But they cannot do this whole transaction directly with the depository. They can do it with the help of DP or depository participants. As per SEBI's guidelines, any financial institution, the share brokers, banks, etc. can become a depository participant after registration with the SEBI. So any financial institution, any share broker, any bank, they can become DP. But they have to register in SEBI. Then only they can become a depository participant. So depository participant is a very important middleman in depository system, and all buying and selling of shares under depository system take place through depository participants only. So we can say depository participant is the most important in the vital intermediary, most important middleman, which connecting investor and depository. Okay, so investors cannot directly deposit or withdraw shares from depository. They need the help of a major intermediary known as depository participant. Now, when you talk about, we know that so many stock exchanges are there in our country, and so many regional stock exchanges are there, and two national or nationwide stock exchanges there. That two nationwide stock exchanges are, one is National Stock Exchange or NSE, second one is OTCEI, that means over the counter exchange of India. Two major nationwide stock exchanges are there, and other stock exchanges are regional stock exchange. Now we can discuss about the index of stock exchange. Here we are talking about the major two stock exchange. One is NSE, National Stock Exchange, and Bombay Stock Exchange and BSE. So stock exchange indices, which are the indexes of this stock exchange. You heard about Sensex, right? Sensex full form is sensitive index. Okay, it's a short form is Sensex. So Sensex is the shortened form of Bombay Stock Exchange sensitive index. It is the benchmark index of Bombay Stock Exchange. So always remember, the Bombay Stock Exchange benchmark index is Sensex. Its full form is what? Sensitive index. How this Sensex is calculating is, the Sensex is calculated by taking the prices of 30 largest and most actively traded stocks or securities in Bombay Stock Exchange. So Bombay Stock Exchange, which shares or which stocks are, which securities are most actively traded. The prominent first 30 securities will be taken. Prices of these 30 securities will be taken for calculating the Sensex. It is the major index. So we know that whenever Sensex increase, so it gone down, it gone up. Most times you all are hearing the news. So that means these major stocks value is going up or its value is going down. So most economic system of a country is measuring through this kind of indexes only. Okay. Now when you talk about Nifty, you heard about Nifty, right? Nifty, we also known as Nifty 50. Okay. Normally we were saying that National 50. It is related to National Stock Exchange. So National 50 short form is Nifty. Normally we were saying that in Nifty 50 also. Okay. So it is the index of National Stock Exchange. Nifty also called as Nifty 50. It is calculated by using 50 largest stocks that are actively traded in National Stock Exchange. So National Stock Exchange most prominent securities or shares 50. It's a first 50 prominent shares we are taking for calculating the index of National Stock Exchange, that is Nifty. Okay, so always remember Sensex is the index of Bombay Stock Exchange and Nifty 50 is the index of National Stock Exchange. Okay, so we know that BSE is the one of the largest stock exchange in Asia. Okay, it is the largest stock exchange in Asia. I think in the world it is the 5th position, I think. So this things remember index in our syllabus, no need to study in detail, but you should just remember what are the indexes of National Stock Exchange as well as Bombay Stock Exchange. Okay, thank you so much.